expressed in this program by the host or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off of steel. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis. And breaking scoreboard, Simone of the Olympics. Defense and big business, the Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host Dee Trynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host Dee Trynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
Yo, man, what's really good? Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, in the street sports, man. Streaming as usual, man. It's really good to get up with y'all. We ain't been wrapping it up on the regular. Life be life and shit like that. A few things going on, but we still in touch with the fact that it is draft time. NFL draft season is among us. We are ready to see who our new superstars of the future will be. We trying to see, what these Browns gonna do because we in Cleveland, right? And that's what we care about. Um, the first round of the draft was crazy last night. ESPN footage of the 2025 NFL draft. Um, the beginning of it was, for the most part, unpredictable, right? But I'll say, I'm down at the stadium. I'm getting chopped up with one of the legends, and I called 5 of the first 6 picks. All right, they was in there going crazy. How you know this? What you talking about? Where you getting your info? What? You know, this is how it go. But for those that are not familiar, all right, let's just give you a little run back. Quarterback from the University of Miami, Cameron Ward, he goes first, right? He goes to Tennessee. If you didn't think he was going to Tennessee, the night before, Tennessee signed veteran wide receiver Tyler Lockett. That all but said they were definitely going Cam Ward. Reports were out. That was him, right? Now, 2 was where it got shaky. I said Travis Hunter was going second, but I had got the info. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the circle. That the Jags and Cat and Browns had made a trade. So in my initial thought, I say, oh, well, damn, they gonna trade back, and they probably gonna get Shador at 5 instead of 2. That's what I said. I'm not gonna hold you. That was my prediction. I say, okay, Jacksonville trading up, they taking Trav, right? So I'm talking to the legend. And the legend, like, why would they trade up to get Trav? I'm like, bruh, Jacksonville gonna get Trav. So enough who comes off the board, Travis Hunter. I say, okay, Abdul Carter going third. Boom, gotta go in the kitchen, do some things. While I'm in the kitchen, the Giants pick Abdul Carter number 3. Okay? So crazy. Woke back out on the floor, chopping with the legend again, and he like, dude, where are you getting this info from? How do you just know? Right? And I'm just like, bro. Okay, and I'm just like, bro. Like, man, this, you gotta have a little. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? This is how I get down, right? So what New England gonna do? I say New England probably gonna go offensive lineman. I said if it was me, I would tell them to take Membo, but they probably gonna take Will Campbell. But if it was my pick, I would have took a receiver. You know what I'm saying? I said I thought Matthew Golden was the best receiver in the draft. If he would have went fourth, I don't think that was too high in my book. I thought Tyler Warren was probably the best all around pass catcher in the draft. If they would have took him there, it wouldn't have bothered me either. But they do have kind of those pieces there. So to protect your blind side of your quarterback made sense. Will Campbell goes. They're like, okay, so who's going fifth? Now I said it was Shador. I did. Right. I thought Mason Graham would slide a little more just because Mason Graham is more of a pass rushing defensive tackle. He could definitely play the run too, don't get me wrong. But just the way that he plays is more of a pass rush base from the interior. Um, so I thought he would slide. I did. I thought he would slide more to, around 10th pick, 11th pick, ninth pick. Um, but okay, and what's so crazy about this is New England makes their pick. The timer for the Browns at 5 never comes up. It never hit the board. All right. They talked about it, and then all of a sudden they just said the pick was in. Right. So the Browns never even used their 15 minutes for the number 5 pick. They already knew who they were taking. They took Mason Brown. All right. Raiders get on the clock. I say, oh, they taking Ashton Jency. That's gonna be Pete Carroll pick. So the legend looking at me like, I like Jency, but that seemed kind of high. I say he going to the Raiders, bro. Slide back, go to that, go capture some things in the kitchen, come back. They taking Jency as I'm walking out on the floor. They taking Jency, right? I said I knew he was gonna go. They walking up to me like, bro, where is your sports channel, bro? What are you doing? I say, man, I tell you, it's one of my skills, Ohio Media School representative, this is what we do. I was able to pass out, get a couple subscribers, you know what I'm saying? It was nice. But the draft room was cool. The Browns had a concert down there. It was lit. And I think the first round of the draft was lit. Uh, at 7, you had Armand Membu go to the Jets. I thought the Jets would take a pass catcher, but they didn't. Then you had Terrell McMillan. He was the first um, receiver to actually come up the board, and he goes to Carolina. Now, I thought Shador Sanders would go to the Saints here. I just knew he was not going to make it out of the first round. All right, that was my consensus. Shador is not making it out of the first round. But the Saints go Kelvin Banks Jr., the left tackle from Texas. So I say, well, damn, I don't really know what the Bears are going to do, right? Because both left tackles off the board. Um, the running back off the board. I don't think they'll go receiver. Maybe they go defense, right? No, they went tight end. Colston Loveland, Michigan, tight end. This is what the Bears did at 10. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. So, just all out of the top 10, I don't think there's nothing wrong with any of the picks in the top 10. The only pick I really question is Membu to the Jets because do they see him as a right tackle, a left tackle, or a right guard who could anchor, or a left guard who could help anchor the blind side of the line? That's kind of where I'm at with that. I don't think he's a bad pick. I just question the pick because if you want to use him as a left tackle, I don't know if that's the smartest move that gives you the most out of him. And then if you do him at right tackle, which I think is really what he should be playing, um, I don't understand why you take a right tackle top 7, right? Because the right tackle is usually for your veterans, right? Your veteran left tackles, they usually switch over to right tackle, as their mobility wane and all that, and they get their veteranship, Some stay at the elite ones, they're able to stay at that left tackle but for the most part, they usually go right. So um, it's interesting, right? But the Browns was the talk. Okay, so what the Browns did was they traded Jacksonville the number 2 pick, the number 104 pick, which was the fourth or fifth pick in the fourth round, or the second pick in the fourth round. Yeah, it's one of them. It's the top 5 pick in the fourth round. And they traded the number 200 pick. In return, they got the number 5 pick, which is where they took Mason Brown. They got the number 36 pick, which gave them 2 of the first 4 picks in the second round. They got the 126 pick, which is basically they just moved back a few spots in the fourth round, right? And they got a number 1 pick next year. So you don't know if you know you really don't know if uh, Jacksonville gonna be a good team, right? I mean, you expect them to do something, but just in case there's that chance that Jacksonville does not do what we think they're going to do, right? That is leeway for the Browns to have 2 nice picks next year, right? In the first round. E- 2 of the top 30 picks, regardless. If the Browns and Jacksonville both have a nice year, they give you 2 picks in the late. It give you 2 for first round picks, maybe back-to-back picks. In the 20s, or in the late 20s or early 20s. If y'all finish middle of the pack, it give you 2 first round picks within 10 or 20. It really helps you. And then the pick of Mason Graham. Um, okay. I don't see nothing wrong with the pick of Mason Graham because you need a defensive tackle to complement your franchise defensive end. With Mason Graham, you got a 3 tech defensive tackle. And the 3 tech is basically a pass rushing defensive tackle. So you basically got a defensive tackle who can still play D tackle, but can pass rush because of his mobility, agility, and the way he just plays.
You can hear me,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? He would. Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, it's a bet.
You good?
Yeah, it was. She was tripping.
Okay. So,
Are you talking about the
did,
Browns?
yeah, I'm about to say you want to chime in on this.
Got to catch me up a little bit.
Okay, so I'm talking about. So what I was saying was, I had said the Browns. They got the extra pick for next year, which give them 2 in the first round, regardless of how I go. Either if Jacksonville and them do good or they do bad, or you know what I'm saying. Either way,
Either way,
they
we got
cool.
that. We
Yeah,
got
you know what I'm saying. Then I could have went to the other picks, but I really right now I just skipped straight to Mason Graham, and I'm saying you need a nice defensive tackle to complement your franchise defensive end,
I'm
and
cool with Mason Graham.
I am too. You know what I'm saying?
Cool with Mason
Uh,
Graham. And especially how the first round already went. How the first round went. I'm like, oh
hmm
yeah, I'm extra cool now.
Yeah, no,
I'm
for real.
extra cool
And
now.
then
You know what I'm saying? Now this is the one tonight, round two.
the
Round
Browns
two.
tried to trade. So check this out though. The Browns tried to trade back. They tried to trade the Eagles for the 32nd pick to get back into the first round and take the offensive tackle Josh Simmons. They end up
Hold
going
on,
to
say
the
that
Chiefs.
again.
The Browns called the Eagles and tried to trade for the 32nd pick. Remember, the Eagles was at 32.
Yeah. Oh, in the
They won a
first
Super
round.
Bowl. The Chiefs was at 31. The
Mm.
Browns called the Eagles to get the 32 so they could try to draft the offensive tackle Josh Simmons.
Mm.
The Eagles in return called the Chiefs and traded up to 31 because they wanted Jaheed Campbell. The Chiefs really wanted Josh Simmons. So basically, they left it up to the Chiefs to decide what they wanted to do with Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland called the Chiefs. The Chiefs ain't own it. They make the pick. So now we're like, okay, where we at with the Browns, right? I like the Mason Graham pick because now you're telling me we have a defensive line that consists of Myles Garrett as the guy, right? The guy who could play defensive end, play defensive tackle, play linebacker. He literally could move all over the line. You sign a Malik Collins. You still got a Michael Hall Jr. that you drafted last year, and then you add Mason Graham this year. That is an overhaul. You just had Dalvin Tomlinson. You went through your what's my guy Larry Ogunjobi's and your Saki Ikas who disappointed, and your Jeffersons who didn't turn out, and you didn't have a revolving door right there, for Miles. But now you got two young guys and a vet down there, a Super Bowl winning vet. You know what I'm saying? That can help. Let's do that.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Then you still got Alex Wright on the other side, Isaiah McGuire, you got Obadiah Oberonquo. So you got, at least 7 to 8 guys. Now, Barry said they wanted 6 to 8 guys that they could rotate at the defensive line, on the defensive line. So I'll say 7. They got their 7, right? We know for a fact if they don't do nothing else, they going in with at least 7 defensive linemen because they classify defensive tackles and defensive ends all the same. So that's one thing that to how they do their depth chart. You know how some people line it up front 7 or edge rushers. No, the Browns do defensive linemen all in one category. So they got their 7.
Yeah,
And
I'm
what you think
straight
about
with
their
it.
7?
I'm straight with it, man. Like me personally, my favorite positions in football is wide receiver, defensive backs, and linemen. Always been. You know what I'm saying? I love getting players in them trenches because they matter. And them trenches can win games, win some Super Bowls too. So
Mm-hmm.
shit. Get them trenches together. The trenches get rough. That pressure.
No, for real.
So shit, I'm with it. And the Browns ain't done. I ain't even talking about in the draft. I'm just talking about period. It's gonna be some moves make. Barry and them gonna make some more moves. So shit. I think that defense gonna get stronger. And did I ain't hear nothing from the defensive coordinator yet? Did he speak? I ain't hear it.
No, he ain't spoke yet. So now look, this is what I'm thinking, right? Okay. So look, let's talk about 36 and 33. The Browns pick at 33, right? Um, then the Texans pick at 34, the Titans pick at 35. And then you got what you call it? Then the Browns pick again at 36. Now, what happened was the Giants drafted Abdul Carter at 3. Then they traded back into the first round and traded was that the Rams? I want to say. Right, I think it was the Rams. Or I think it was the Rams. They traded them, got the 25th pick, and they drafted Jackson Dart. So Dart went to the Giants. Now they have a quarterback room of Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart. And um, he became the second quarterback to come off the board. So now we get to the second round, and Shador Sanders still on the board. Luther Burton Jr. still on the board. Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan, still on the board. Nick Emenwari, safety from South Carolina, still on the board. Travion Henderson. And this is considered to be the deepest part of the draft. So I'm asking you, what do you want the Browns to do with 33 and 36?
Hold on. I gotta run outside real quick. Hold it down. Hold on. Real quick.
All right, bet. No, you good. You good. I think this is really crazy. I like what Andrew Berry did though. Some people are upset. They're livid. They don't understand. They don't like it. Andrew Berry don't know how to build a team. He don't know what he doing. Andrew Berry sucks. He tripping. Man, Andrew Berry is doing his thing. Okay. I've always said Andrew Berry be doing his thing. I am a fan. Um, I think he does what he can and what he needs to do. And he makes it work regardless of whatever outcomes do or don't go his way. I think Andrew Berry has done a good job of filling this team full of talented people. Um, sometimes the talent works out, sometimes it doesn't. That's not necessarily a knock on him. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. But I like the Mason Graham pick for sure. When it comes to what they should do at 33 and 36, I am a best player available / the player I like type of person, right? How high is the player I like for um, what I need, the value I can get him at, right? I'm also a believer that, even if you rank a guy 50th, if I feel like he's worth a 30 something pick, I'll take him. Right? Live and die on that blade. It is what it is. Um, and I'm looking at how many opportunities you have to finish off your team. Um, the Browns need a quarterback. Shador Sanders is still on the board. I do not believe the Texans will trade out of the 34th pick because I believe there's a specific player they want that's still on the board. And I think he's on offense. I think the Titans are not going to trade that pick because they need players. And there's quite a few players they can pick right there that will go nice for their team, including a new weapon for their quarterback. So the Browns, with Shador Sanders still on the board, can get him at 36. The question is, what will they do with 33?
All
Right?
right, I'm back.
So you back?
Yes, sir. What you say
So
they was doing with 30?
right.
30? Oh, you on
I
phone?
didn't. I just got here. All I said so far was I just gave him how I view picks. If
Okay.
I think a guy, if you ain't got a guy rated 50 something and I like him at 30 something, I'll draft him and live and die on that blade. But
Say that again.
I said I'll draft him and live and die on that blade. I say, but
Draft who?
also if if they have a guy rated at 50 something and I'm picking at 30 something, if I really like this guy, I will take him and live and die on that blade. You
Mm-hmm.
got me? You follow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but I do evaluate and I look at the fit, the need, the position, and how much I like a player too. So in this instance, I got to the part where I'm like, okay, the Browns don't necessarily have to take Shador at 33 because CJ Stroud is into Texans and they're not. And I don't think they're trading out of that pick. I think there is a player on the board that they want.
We
The
can get them at
Titans,
36.
right. The Titans just took Cam Ward. They're not taking, but they have few needs, so it's a few players on the board that they can take that they'll be satisfied with. I'm looking at the Browns and saying you could do a number of things right here. you could just take Shador off the board off top and eliminate any chance of the Titans
That's what I
or
was just about to say. I was just about to say the Browns should take him because just on some trade up shit, somebody might trade. Like, no,
no, you ain't about to go to Cleveland, right?
yeah, like
That's
we ain't
cool.
about to Cleveland.
It's
So.
possible, right? But also, the Browns could not care,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they're not obligated to take a quarterback right now. They're
Right.
not obligated to take Shador. We just said they should. They may
Mm-hmm.
not even like Shador as well as they like another quarterback that they can still get in the second round. So again, and because they didn't take a quarterback in the first round, they can still take a quarterback next year and nobody will blink an eye.
Mm-mm.
So I'm thinking, do they finish off the defense? You need a safety. Nick Emenwar is right there. You pair him with Dale Pitt. You got Baker, maybe JLK later in the season. If not, definitely next year. You got Bush. You just finish off. Do you finish off the defense? Or do you say, oh, let me go ahead and turn up on offense? And do you say, let me take Luther Burden right now? I need a slot. I got Judy, who's going to play my good two. I got Tillman, who could potentially be a one, but he's not good in the slot. But I know Luther Burden can play the slot, and he could be my return man. And then we just going to take the chance that Shador going to be there at 36. And if Shador there not at 36, then guess what? I can either take Travion or Junkins, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. What do you think about that?
You like Miro?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Regardless of what quarterback I like, I need weapons. I need weapons.
Oh
And
yeah,
every
I'm
weapon ain't the same.
taking the best weapon.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, I would if they take Nick Emenwar or Luther Burton at 33
Oh yeah, I
or
fuck with Burton.
or Travion Henderson. So this is my thing, right? If I was the Browns, I would take Luther Burton and then double back and take Travion. Because now you give me two speed weapons who could play the slot, catch out the backfield, and both of them can play special teams and kick return, which is something we haven't had an explosive. We haven't had an explosive slot, and you haven't had a scant back. Now, and I say that because Jerome Ford is supposed to be the scat back, right? But what if he done bulked up and he could play more of the power back role, and now you got a scat back? Then that would, to me, leave more room for you to bring Nick Chubb back because you would need another back that's going to actually be able to soak up some shit that they're not going to be able to do, right? You take Luther Burton, now you got a true slot, you got a number two, you got a tight end, you know what I'm saying? And you still give guys like David Bell and Cedric Tillman a chance to, Michael Woods, you still give them a chance to make something of themselves. Don't get me wrong, man. They take Shador, I'm cool with that. But to me, if you take Shador, you're not taking a quarterback next year. You know what I'm saying? You just don't draft Shador to draft another quarterback. To me, when you draft Shador, he is the quarterback.
I'm taking Shador. Taking
So
Shador. Yeah, I'm taking Shador.
you taking him at 33 or 36?
33.
He's gonna call him off the board off top.
Yeah, I'm calling him off the board. I don't know,
All right, so
man. Yeah, I don't know. It's like who you said Travion and Burton Tree, Burton the
yeah,
third.
I like Junkins better than because okay. So I like Jerome Ford, and I think they should re-sign him. I like Judkins too, though. But I like the idea of putting Luther Burden and Travion Henderson with what we have over the fact of getting Shador. That's what I like. And that it ain't nothing against Shador. But if you telling me I can have Travion, Jerome Ford, and still bring back Nick Chubb and get Luther Burden,
that's fire. I mean, I
exactly.
feel you. I feel you.
Exactly.
More weapons. More
You
weapons.
feel me? So then if I gotta trade
like,
up to come back and get Shador, I got the assets to do that too.
Man, listen, flat out, man, Stefanski be knowing what he doing with these quarterbacks, man. You know, definitely when he get what a quarterback he wants. So if he comfortable and shit like, man, he don't need Shador, and it is what it is. Get them weapons and make it happen. Do what y'all do. Who all left on the quarterback side anyway? He must have muted. If you talking, bro, I can't hear you unless you mute it.
My fault. I say, yeah. If I'm ranking them, I say if I'm the one ranking them, it's Shador Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Tyler Show, Jalen Monroe, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, Kyle McCord, and it's probably a couple more, but that's how I would rank them. So, but I would prefer Shador. I'm cool with Show or Milrow because drafting Tyler Show just gives you a quarterback that could come in and play and take over a veteran role at some point because he's already older. I think he's more lightning in the bottle. And if you just needed to be able to have lightning in the bottle for a few years while you get your quarterback, then I think that's a good move. I think for the Browns, it could be one of the best moves because he's older. You still got Deshaun and the Wings on the roster, and you just putting them against Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco for this year. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you may not have found your guy, but it still leave you room to get a guy, even if he is lighting in the bottle for a few years. It still allows you to accumulate more assets to do things. Jalen Monroe is the quarterback like Shador. If you drafted him to build the offense around what he does. A guy who could do things like a running back and has one of the best arm cannons, has the best arm cannon, which means that he could throw it really far. He could throw it really far, very accurate. Um, to me, Shador Sanders just embodies exactly the type of quarterback Kevin Stefanski wants. And he doesn't have to start day one. Matter of fact, I prefer he don't start day one. Just come in that bitch and do your thing. If Flacco start, it don't matter because we all know Flacco not gonna last that long. If Kenny Pickett start, have to take over for him. It don't even matter. We know it's not gonna last that long. Shador could just stay the third emergency quarterback. You see what I'm saying? And then once them niggas already flame out, you didn't allow Shador to learn the system. You feel me? So,
yes, sir.
So I'm saying if they take Shador at 33, I'm not upset. It doesn't bother me because there are so many different weapons. I like if it's me going off what I purely, as the talent that I wanted, right? I ain't gonna lie, I would take Shador at 33 too. And then I would take Judkins at I would take Quinshawn Judkins at 36. And I would pair him with Jerome Ford because I like what Jerome Ford brings as a scat back. and I like what Juckins brings as a replacement for Chubb. And then I feel like that wouldn't necessarily obligate you to have to bring Chubb back, but it still leave room to bring him back on the mentor side and playoff clutch side. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have to overuse Chubb for the beginning of the season. The rookie's probably gonna catch flame in the bottle in the beginning of the season, but you could still use him for the back end of the year in the playoffs. And then I would take Savion Williams, the receiver from TCU at 67, because I know he's still gonna
No,
be.
man, I need my boy Fannin on this team.
Fanning go at 94.
I need Harold on this team, man.
Well, if I can still get Savion at 94, I take Fanning at 67. You know what I'm saying? But them the players I like though. Those four players, Shador, Quinshon Judkins, Savion Williams, and Harold Fanning, those are the four guys that I like for those picks. That gives you a whole offense.
Definitely, that's fire right there. I'm with that.
You know what I'm saying? But if we being the most opportunistic and we're saying we're trying to put together the best amount of talent possible, I'm not gonna hold you. If they take Luther Burton at 33, I'm not mad. Not at all. Take Luther Burton at 33, and then you got to take your running back at 36. Or you could say, I'm going to take Shador at 36. I'm going to take Luther Burton at 33, take Shador at 36, and then come back and take Caleb Johnson at 67.
If he there at 36, man, they got to get him. I ain't passing him 3 times.
No, but I would think this though. If Kevin Stefanski really liked Shador, but he just knew he was gonna fall, then you just take him right there. And then you do that, and now your only quarterback talk is when does Shador take over, and will Deshaun be able to come play a backup role?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you see them two connecting, all the narratives die. And that's a powerful chess move. So again, I'm with you, bro. Look, Shador, you wasn't the first name on the first day, but you was the first name on the second day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, get him off the board. He gonna come into camp with an attitude. We know you were schooled by Tom Brady. We know you know how to play pro style. I got you. But I think it speaks volumes that the Browns are trying to trade up to draft an offensive tackle, which tells me that they feel like they could get him at 36. So 33 is a luxury pick, which means that's why I say, bro, they might take Luther Burton at 6'3" slot who fucking runs like a 4.38 or some shit, 4.24.
6'3", are you sure?
He run like a 4.42 or like a 4.38.
I thought you just said he was 6'3". I swear he's littler than that.
No, Luther Burton like 6'2", 6'3", bro. Man. Hold on, I'm about to pull it up. Yeah, that nigga tall and he young. He only like 20. Hold on, I'm about to go to it right now. Yeah, Luther Burton. That's available. Will Johnson. Okay, say 6 feet. All right, my bad.
6 feet. I'm jumping the gun. Give me Fathom Jr. with the 33rd pick. No.
So this the rankings. Will Johnson, the cornerback.
Hold on.
He ranked number 1. Mike
what all
Green.
Receivers went in the first round?
Huh?
What all receivers went in the first round? Hold on.
Michael Golden, Terrell McMillan, Tyler, the tight end Tyler Warren, the tight end Loveland, Coastal Loveland.
Oh yeah, they were snatching them up.
Bro, that's only like 4 pass catchers, bro. Everybody else was either I forgot. And Emeka Obuka went in the first round too. Everybody else was either defense or interior lineman. You had
Hey,
two quarterbacks, two receivers, two tight ends, and two running backs. Everything else was either offensive line or defense. You know what I'm saying? So,
there's still good players on the board. A lot of good players on the board.
this is what I'm saying. Travion rated the sixth best player. Shador rated the eighth best player. And Luther Burton rated the 16th best player. If they go, I ain't gonna lie. A big part of me think they gonna take Nick Emmanwar because
I was
he's
about to
six.
say who do you think they go pick?
They gonna take the safety. You just got a defensive tackle to go with Nick. To go
You
with
talking about 33. I'm talking about your 33. This who?
yeah, 33. At 33. I think they're gonna take the safety because he's listen. This nigga is 6'3", 220. He can tackle and play in the field. You need somebody to pair with Delpit. You lost Juan Thornhill and John Johnson didn't pan out in back-to-back joints, right? But you need to get that safety room right? You got Hickman back there that could be on the backup side. You could bring back DeAnthony Bell, you feel what I'm saying? But you know McLeod retired. So you might as well go ahead and take Nick right there, 6'3", 220, because you could put him in the box or you could put him on the other side. If you put him in the box, and make him play strong safety, then you could let Delpit play free safety. You know what I'm saying? However it go though, having both of them, you didn't just basically shore it up. You just shored up your whole defensive shit, right? So now you can really just focus on offense. Now you can really focus on offense. And you can use your draft picks to trade up and down because you got a defensive tackle after losing Tomlinson, at the losing Hurst, at the Ika didn't pan out, right? And now you can get you a safety after John Johnson and Juan Thornhill not panning out. Now that's locked up. Now Schwartz can't complain about his defense. Nigga, you got 3 raw corners. You got 2 nice safeties. You got a revamped defensive line. We got you Jerome Baker. You brought back Devin Bush. You still got Muhammad Diabite. You know what I'm saying? And, so your defense is nice. And we can still get some undrafted. You know what I'm saying? Like, your defense cool. My offense needs all the work. So now if we take Nick at 33, boom. We get Shador at 36, right? Now I got my quarterback. And I can say, okay, quarterback, you got some weapons out here that you like. You play college. You see what I'm saying? I can have this conversation with you.
Shiloh at 126.
Huh?
And we get Shiloh at 126. It's a family thing.
Now, but if you go, but wait though. Now that changes things. If you think Shiloh's gonna be there in the 5th round, and you're gonna take him,
I think that's the 4th round.
Okay, if you think you can get Shiloh in the 4th round and you don't take Nick right here. If you feel like you can get both Sanders brothers, right? I can get Shador at 36, and I can come back and get Shiloh because I think Shiloh is a strong safety.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is a box safety. That I like him there. I think he's good. I like Shiloh. So if you said I'm gonna go get both Sanders brothers, then I'm not taking Nick at 33. I'm either gonna take Travion or I'm gonna take Luther. I'm gonna take Travion or Luther because if I know I'm taking Shador at 36, I gotta get him a weapon.
Hey, listen, man. Tillman. Big Till in the house, man. It's gonna be my dog year.
But listen though, I understand that, and that's cool though, right? If you say, "Hey, I think Tillman gonna merge," I got Judy, I got Njoku, but I only got Ford in the back. Okay, who do you want? Because So on the running back side, Travion is the only running back rated in the top 10 who left on the board. He rated at 6. The next running back to be rated is Quinshon Judkins at 21. So if it's me, I like Quinshon over Travion. But I do think Travion gives me more. So like Travion, how big is Travion? See, Travion 5'10", 202. You feel me? Now I got two scat backs with him and Ford. Because Ford not that big. Ford about 5'10", about 210. You know what I'm saying? He ain't that big. So that's why I say if you get Travion, then that's telling me you want whatchamacallit to come back. Chubb. But to me, if you go ahead and just take Shador off the board at 33, then I don't know, maybe you come back and get the tight end. But I don't know, man. To me, Luther Burton and Travion seem like the better. I like Quinshon Judkins, though. I personally like Judkins. I like Judkins. You know what I'm saying? I would take Judkins at 36 and would have no quarrels about it. But I don't know if I would take Judkins at over 36, knowing I can get Luther Burton at 36 and he can play the slot. But I feel like if I take Travion, then I got a guy who's 4'3". He can catch on the backfield. He can run. He can play the kick returner, and he can still run out the backfield effectively, especially in the zone read. You know what I'm saying? He may not be that.
Hold on. Jayden Higgins still on the. Did you say Jayden?
I didn't, but I'm not high on Jayden Higgins.
No, you don't rock with him?
I ain't high on him.
What about homeboy from Stanford?
I Allen, what's that name?
Alamo.
Yeah, Alan Meyer or whatever. I mean, I'll get me wrong, they cool, but I like Savion Williams better than all of them. I think Savion better than them. That's my personal. I think Savion Williams better than them, and that's why I ain't tripping on getting a receiver right now. Except the only thing is Luther Burton is a true slot who can return kicks, and so is Travion, and that's why I'm saying, like, bruh, I wouldn't be shocked if they listen.
Definitely got to get that goddamn special teams together.
So, and that's why I'm saying, bro, if you can get them both, if you saying, bro, I can get Luther Burton at 33 because I know teams will want him first. Then I can come back and get Travion at 36. I'm not going to hold you, bro. I'm not even mad they didn't take Shador. I'm not salty at all. Not salty at all. But to kill a lot of noise, I would just take Shador at 33, though. I'm not going to hold you. I wouldn't even hesitate. I'd already sent my card in yesterday.
I can dig it.
Like, hey, bro, you don't even gotta waste no time. Soon as you turn this shit on, just call that nigga name. And then whoever there at 36, I'm taking. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Travion or Quinshon or Luther. Because I feel like they are home run hitters. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is going, like this they read on Travion. The read on Travion is he's the third best running back in the draft. 5'10", 202. He averaged 7.1 yards a carry in 2024, the eighth best mark in football. Tested well at the combine. He's patient with speed to shift through traffic. His burst between tackles and turning the corners jump off the tape. He's a threat to pull away when he gets on steam. Henderson runs angry. He has the contact balance to break tackles and even make defenders miss. He separates, has the tools to continue to develop as a route runner. He's good in the open field, who is dangerous after the catch. As a pass blocker, Henderson locates assignments, stays aware, meets up to defenders. He lowers his shoulder and knocks defenders back when he chips. All right, so they saying he's a complete back, and we know he run a 4.3, right? Boom. I mean, they could go Mason Graham. I see the tight end right there. This Luther Burden. Burden is the outstanding after the catch and is an instinctive open field runner with foot speed to make multiple defenders miss. He explodes upfield and pulls away when he gets a seam. He averaged 12.8 yards a carry in 2024. He tracks the deep ball well and is a threat to take the top off of coverage. Burden's hands are small, but he doesn't drop many passes. He can secure the ball away from his frame and comes down with contested catches. He changes speeds well and has the potential to develop into a complete route runner at the NFL level. Burden excels at attacking his own looks. And that's why I'm saying, bruh, if I can get both of them, bruh, I'm not even tripping. Not even tripping, bro. I like but again, if the Browns call Shador first, then I feel like they should call Quinshawn Junkins second or Luther Burton. Because if you take him, I don't know though. I like Trey though. I don't think they can go wrong. Let's say that. I think it should be nearly very hard to damn near impossible to go wrong. But I feel like, if you identify players that could change your franchise around, then yeah, look, go ahead and take Shador at 33. You go ahead and let the Texans take Luther Burton at 36. I mean at 34, because that's most likely what's gonna happen. The Titans probably gonna take they probably gonna take Mike Green or Will Johnson at 35. Um and then you got your pick of offensive players that you want from there. People like Elijah Arroyo, the tight end from Miami. People like Jada Higgins, the wide receiver from Iowa State. I just don't like him more than I like Trayon and Luther. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The fact that I'm in a position to get them.
What the hell? Now, what just happened to Dee Trynt? Man's got the boot. Give him a second, real quick, see if he tap back in.
Yo.
Yes, sir. Now you're back.
Okay, I'm like, damn, bro, just my whole phone just went blank, though. I was like, man, what's going on, dog?
I just seen it go view. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it definitely just cut it out. So, but like I say though, yeah. I Okay, so let me make a definitive decision. All right, because I've been talking all over the place. Ain't nothing like getting your quarterback of the future and getting him off the board, right? But I ain't gonna lie, man. Looking at this and looking at who picking, the Raiders might take him at 37, right? But I think the Raiders will take Jaden Higgins. They just got Ashton Genty. I think they would take that. They would take Higgins. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking a quarterback. The Bears not taking a quarterback. The Saints not taking a quarterback. So I think the Browns could take Burden or Travion at 33 and take the other one. I think it'll be Burden. Take Burden at 33, take Travion at 36, and then call the Bears about 39 and be willing to trade the 67 pick and another pick to get the 40th pick. I mean the 39th pick to get ahead of the Saints and get Shador that way.
Now that would be crazy. That's fire. I ain't talking about. Yeah, that's fire though.
I ain't gonna lie, because the Bears don't got a lot of picks. I don't even think they had a few picks in the draft, like maybe like 6 or 8 of them bitches. So
Yeah,
they
that'd
still a
be
team that need
dope.
to
That'd,
build.
that'd be nice. That'd be
You know
crazy
what I'm
right there.
saying? Like, hey, listen, bro, y'all niggas still got the 41st pick, so we'll trade y'all. This how I see it. We'll trade y'all the 67 pick, and because we got to keep 94. I trade, or let me see. The Bears got the 72 pick, and the Bears may not. So, oh wait, they got the 74th pick. Oh no, bro! Oh, the Bears don't even got no pick in the 4th round or in the okay. Yeah. Oh hell, bro, they could offer them the 97. Bruh, they could get crazy, bruh. They wouldn't even have to offer them the 67 because the Bears got the 41st and the 77th pick and the 72nd pick. But they don't pick again until like 140. What was this? The Bears don't pick again until like 148. Yeah, like 148. So the Browns could call them like, hey, we'll give you the 126 pick in the 4th round and the 94th pick in the 2nd round. I mean, in the 2nd round for your in the 3rd round for your 39th pick in the 2nd round. And I think Chicago would take that. And then you can come out with Luther Burton, Travion Henderson, and Shador Sanders with 3 of the top 10 picks in the 2nd round. Now you may have to throw in a pick next year from that. You know what I'm saying? They may like, hey, bro, you gotta sweeten the deal. You know, they could throw in a player, but the Browns have the capital to do it. So that might be dream world right there. You come out with your receiver, your running back, and your quarterback of the future right there. You know what I'm saying? Burton, Travion, and Shador. Now you got speed weapons. You know what I'm saying? You got a quarterback who can run your offense. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And I think the Bears will take that because they can still get whoever they want at 41. What you think? You said you like that?
Yeah, that's straight.
That's straight.
Who out of all the first in the 1st round, who you think what player you think the best fit for their team?
It's a few. I say it's a few because I think any one of these players looking at it right
No,
now,
yeah, that's what I was asking for. Not just one.
yeah, any one of these players could be rookie of the year. Ashton Genty, Kenneth Grant, and Miami, Emeka Abuka with Tampa Bay, um, Matthew Golden with with Green Bay, and I ain't gonna lie, man. Malachi Starks going to the Ravens was crazy, bro.
Right.
Malachi going to the Ravens was crazy, bro.
That was crazy.
That's crazy. With Kyle Hamilton, that's crazy. That was wild.
Ravens always get Ravening, man.
That was wild, man.
Dirty
That
bird.
was wild.
Goddamn dirty rat birds, man.
Pittsburgh taking Derek Harmon was crazy too.
Yeah, I was glad
And that
they. I was glad they didn't get Shador though.
no, they probably went high on Shador. He got too much cachet for Tomlin like him probably. But I think man, yesterday was crazy. Yesterday was crazy.
But yeah, I'm happy for Trav. I wanted Trav to go to Jacksonville. I rock with the Jags.
Yeah,
I
'cause
rock
they
with the
like
Jags. I mean, I would have loved for him to be a Brown, but if he's gonna go anywhere, I love that Jacksonville fit for sure. I think he gonna
damn
turn up in Duval.
man, Luther Burden and Travion on this team would be so gas. I ain't even lie, bruh. If he take both of them, bruh, I wouldn't even be mad if they didn't trade up for Shador. I wouldn't even be mad, bruh, because guess what? That's telling me whatever quarterback y'all taking in the fourth round. Whoever there at 126. You know what I'm saying? Because, bruh, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm salivating at the idea of having Travion and Luther Burton, bro. That is what,
That's fire.
nigga.
That's fire.
You
That's
talk
fire.
about home run hitters to go with Judy the tactician. What Njoku does, what Jerome Ford give you when he able to do his thing. Oh my God, bro, that is
Yeah,
wild.
Big Tillman.
But man, but what off? But they was trying to get an offensive lineman though. They tried to trade up and get an offensive lineman. And if I wonder if they thought he the best offensive lineman for a while. Now I don't think they would take the center though, um, because they wanted the offensive tackle. So now it's about would they come back and take the offensive tackle? Is Cersei 6'6", 331 from Minnesota. Cersei didn't start playing football until his junior year of high school. He started one game at right tackle in 2020, and the final 38 games of his career at left tackle. 86 10-yard split is outstanding, and he explodes off the ball on tape. He can pass edge defenders off well to the guard and work up to linebackers in his own blocker. He takes solid angles climbing to the second level and he engulfs defenders in space with wide frame. Irsay is tough to beat if he wins with his hands as a pass blocker. He's big and strong enough to anchor with a sound technique. So with since they and I gotta take this into consideration, they wanted to trade up to get Simmons, and he ended up going to the Chiefs. They could take Irsay first off the board. They could say we're gonna put Irsay at left tackle and move DeJuan Jones back to right tackle. And now you got two big ass tackles. And then take whatchamacallit at 36. Shador. Because then that's telling me again, it's a lot of cats out here, and the cats I want probably gonna fall. If they do it like that, yeah, I think it's a good chance they would take they would end up taking like Caleb Johnson and Savion Williams, man. I think Savion Williams. I don't know why niggas ain't high on Savion. Bitch 6'4", 6'5", nigga play running back and receiver and can return punts. That nigga is good, bro. And he rated 67.
Yeah, he
Oh,
a
why
dog.
he rate nigga
He a
Williams is a
dog.
versatile
He a
playmaker with
dog. I
an
definitely
impressive.
take him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I definitely take him.
That's what I'm saying, bro. He worth taking in the second
Get,
round.
getting him and Shador off the board.
What? Bruh, if they took Shador first and came back and took Savion with that next pick, bro, I wouldn't even be salty. But it's just the fact that we know for a fact that they tried to trade up for offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that means Ursay probably can come off the board at 33. And then they take Shador at 36. Or they could take him off the board at 33 and take a running back at 36. I like Savion though. If they, I would prefer them come out with Quinshon Judkins and Savion Williams. Then would be mine too. But yeah, that would be mine too. Hold on, man. I might have to cut out for a minute, bro. I might have to go do something.
Oh yeah, I
Dee
was about
Trynt,
to say the same thing. I could bust this damn move.
man. Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on multiple media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Follow us on IG at Industry Sports or at Dee Trynt. If you miss the live streams, you can catch the replays on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and various other streaming platforms. On top of the social media platforms that we said before. Just when you get in there, look for Industry Sports, like, subscribe, share, follow. Once you get in there, you'll see Dee Trynt, Game Changer Sports Talk. Make sure y'all do the same. Go to the website, industrysports.com, get the latest articles, things like that. If you got certain subjects or people you want us to highlight, you want to get in touch with us, inbox on any of the social platforms, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you want to do, how to get in contact with you, or email us. dtrent@gmail.com or industrysports@gmail.com, man. Get with us. It's always love. Go Browns. I like what you're doing, Andrew. You doing your motherfucking thing. Fuck what they talk about. Today you got us on the edge of our seat, though, bro. You got what you wanted. We on the edge of our seat, man. Let's see what you do, man. One love, y'all. We'll talk about it later.